Hello and welcome to another episode of Hooner's Shed, and we're still cracking on with Project TZR today, and we're still doing the electrics. We've got some more parcels from Mr. Postman. I've moved the garage around, so we've got the TZR in here. I've never done a wiring loom before. The most I've done was wire up some clocks. That went alright, although this is a little bit more in depth. Like I said, the original loom had one fuse, and I want to put in a fuse box. So it's easier, so you have one for lights, one for this, one for that. So if something blows, it's easier, and I just think that's the proper way to do it. I could be easy and just follow that, but I've decided to go for something and just build a new loom, which does present its own problems. So, first of all, electrical. Right, so first things to turn up were the relays. Now, I need two, one for the high beam, one for the dip. I've got 4. Now, that was an accident that I ordered 2 pairs, but when I burned these ones out because I wired it wrong, I have got some spares. Job on. So, those were the first things done. Now, these things, these relays, what normally happens, as I understand it, and it's a bit dark over this end of the garage because I've got the door shut, is you get the feed comes from the battery up to the switch, your headlight, whatever, headlights, this side, on, and it goes back. So all the current from the battery to power the lights goes through your handlebar switch. Now apparently, that causes it, that's what can cause you to have very dull headlights, because all the power's going through this little switch. So what these relays do, is you connect that to the battery, to that, and then to the headlight, and then you run a feed from your headlight switch down to this, and then what that does is that basically turns this in, just switch on, off, and then the power goes through the relay straight to the headlight, so you get a direct feed from the battery to the headlight, so it makes your headlights brighter. So you need one for, like I said, the dip, and one for like the main, but I ordered 4, and so I've got some spares. The next thing is this, and this is a new flasher relay for the indicators, and I needed a new flasher relay for my indicators because I have new indicators. These are LEDs. I don't know if they're brighter, but they certainly last longer lasting, and obviously that's the side, the faces, but they have cutouts in the back. I don't know how well they're going to come up. There you go. They have cutouts in the back, so they shine from the back as well. More visibility. I don't know. They weren't that expensive. They were less than a tenner, and obviously the rainbows and rainbows of cables. So we're certainly getting there with the bits and pieces. So, oh yeah, and the wiring diagrams as well. Very important to have your wiring diagrams. Not that I've learnt how to read those yet, but I'm getting there. Now, I'm no wiring guru, and it is true, I have got a lot of cable. I don't know if that's going to be enough. It may well be way too much, but I need to figure this out. The battery goes in there. This is the holder for it, and obviously the rest of the loom would then loop up around here. I think it's a CDI goes there, and the regulator rectifier goes here. Coil there, I believe. Spark plug is just down here. So I need to know how to run these. Now a lot of the time you'll find that all the gubbins for the cables is up behind the headlight unit. I don't know where this is going to come out. That'll be on the headlight unit, but this has got a cut off. I have got another one of these. You have to excuse the water, it spent a little bit of time outside while I was shuffling the garage around. But obviously I can't put the cables in there because there's nothing in there. So now when I put the engine in, I don't need that airbox. I do not need the airbox. Focusing on that a bit better. I don't need the airbox because when I put it back in the carb, I'll have a little pod filter on it, so I don't need the airbox. So I'm wondering, I might be able to keep the battery there, but what's the possibilities? Because that means I'm going to have all of that space. This whacking great big airbox, I'm not going to need it. So I'm wondering if it's possible to either, I have got another one because I've got another one of these, hang on a second, that I've taken apart. Like that. So I don't know if I've got, I'm fairly certain I'm not going to have this much space down here because the air filter, because the carb sits under here and the new air filter is going to interfere here. But from sort of this level here across, I've got that much space, plus there you go, I'll just throw it around, that much when you put the lid back on. So I've got a fair amount of space there. Like I said, let me see if I can get this to sit on. So I'll put the other one back on. Just show you what that was like apart. But this might be a better angle actually. So I think I've got, like, if we draw a line from where that comes there, and this. Now I don't know if I can butcher one of these and make it waterproof underneath here, and then I can house all the electrics and the relays and everything in there, rather than in there. So that's my first thought, because I can run the cables for the battery up here and into it from there, I assume. Or if I'm able to butcher it, I wonder if I could run the cables in through there. Actually, just outside in there. If I butcher one of these. Or, and this is another possibility, fabricate something sorry. Fabricate something that uses the same supports. You cannot, I don't think you can see it. Uses the same supports as the airbox, but is sort of here, a box here, and it also locks on that. So a metal box or something similar, and then put all the electrical gubbins in there. Now, I don't mind putting. Is that going to be more hassle than it's worth? Is it a good idea? I don't know. I don't know. It may be more trouble than it's worth. But I've got to find somewhere to mount a fuse box. And I'm fairly certain you don't want a fuse box out in the elements. You want it tucked up somewhere nice. So I've got to put it in this area here, I think, rather than up underneath the light, because I don't think I'm going to get anything in there. I suppose I could get it up around here, but then again, like I said, it's been a while since I took this apart. I can't remember what the covering is like for this area here, but I know an airbox I'm probably not going to use. So, and I know that that fits underneath the tank, so we'll have to see how that goes. Right, because I don't know what I'm doing, I decided I'd have a bit of a mock-up. So this is the airbox. I had a couple of these reels, so it holds it up sort of level as it would be on the bike. So what I need to make sure is I can get in everything that I need to get in. So the light relays, that's the flasher unit, and the fuse box. Now the flasher unit originally, and I've put the other one back on the bike, is here between the two tanks. That's actually the original one, and it sits on there. So my idea was, can I get it inside? So here. Now it does sit proud, as you can see there, but I'm thinking that when you put the lid, I'll try and do this. Oh, I think one fell over. When you put the lid on, it should fit, because you got the extra height. So it did fall down, but that's because I've got these spikes in it. So I'm thinking, when you look at it, like that, and you put this extra height in, that should not be an issue. So the decision remains, do I butcher these, one of these, or do I fabricate something a bit more suitable? I don't know if I did originally consider see if I can get the rectifier and regulator in there as well, but I haven't got them in. I haven't got them here at the moment, so I shall need to go and get them. But I'm not sure, even with that extra height, whether I'll get the rectifier and the regulator in there. You've got this cut out here as well. See, so I've got, as far as I can work out, that sort of area that I can put the components in. So I don't know if I can get the rectifier regulator in. Right, now I noticed something, and I probably should have noticed it before, but this little gizmo here. Now, having checked the wiring diagram and everything, I've got to re-evaluate what I said earlier. This is actually the ignition control unit. The one that goes there is the CDI, and the one that goes here is the rectifier regulator. I don't know why that is all the way over there though. I'm wondering, I can probably get that because it's small inside there as well, or whatever it is, I'll make that hot off. Is there a reason why that is this far away, or why it's placed where it is? I mean, does this get hot or what? I don't know. I do not know. But that is the ignition control unit, CDI, rectifier regulator. Starting to understand these wiring diagrams now. So that's it for this one really. Nothing actually going on, as in no real advancement in a physical sense, but I've never rewired a bike before. I have got a lot of cable, and the chances are I've got way too much for what I actually need to do. But I could have come in and just measured out lengths of cable, I guess, and just gone, I needed to go to this bar and then down to there, cut the cable, and I could have got on with doing that, I guess. But I'm just thinking that I want to do this properly, and I think the correct way to go is to sit down and just think about how am I going to put all this together, because I'm not following the original loom. So I'm having things like these relays put in, so I need to find somewhere to put them. And I think the airbox, either the airbox modification or fabricating something to go in place of the airbox, is probably going to be the way that it's going to go. And if I can get that done, then I'm wondering how much more of the electrics I can get in that space, or I'm able, if there's any restrictions with heat or whatever. The rectified regulator, I guess that one, because of the fins, I'm guessing that gets hot, so that will probably have to stay, I would imagine, where it is. But can I get this CDI unit off from the inside, and possibly this ignition unit, or does that ignition unit have to stay there for some reason? I don't know. I'm going to have to look into that. So there we go. But that's it for this episode of Who Knew Said. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you on the next one when I've hopefully got the rest of the parts over for the bike for the electrics, and we can, once I know what I'm doing with this, then we can look at then I can look at how I'm putting it all together, getting the loom on. Got to get a battery though, and I'm going to be taking one of the airboxes with me because I'm going up to see hopefully going up to see some friends this weekend, and I shall put it to them, modification or fabrication, and we'll see what the best option is. I reckon it's probably going to be fabrication, and if you watch my video where I built a clock bracket to fit on the GSX, you'll see that my fabrication skills aren't all that. So building a waterproof box to house all these electric gubbins is probably going to be a bit of a challenge with my skills and the really basic tools that I've got. But we'll see how that goes. So anyway, ride safe, and thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.